Hello and welcome to the 1 Million Cups Fargo podcast. 1 Million Cups is a free, nationwide, weekly program created by the Kauffman Foundation in 2012 and is designed to educate, engage, and connect entrepreneurs. 1 Million Cups is organized in 35 states across the country, and the Fargo, North Dakota chapter is one of the most active and largest in the nation. This week, we heard from two new American entrepreneurs who are focused on developing the workforce and finding jobs and careers for their fellow new Americans. Our first speakers were Matur and Hukun from ESHARA, a collaborative project between several organizations in the Fargo area. Let's take a listen.
Hello, everybody. My name is Hukun Dabar. I'm the director of Afro-American Development Association.
My name is Matur Alier. I'm a director at South Sudan Lutheran Church.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the ESHARA project, and then Matur will share with you what we have accomplished last year and what we are doing this year. So ESHARA it's been started 3 years ago by Somali Community Development of North Dakota, Afro-American Development Association, and Bhutanese community, and with support from Lutheran Social Service of North Dakota, serving the new American families living in Fargo-Moore area. So we did our first year project. We did our first year, and together with other partners, and it was really great serving the new Americans on workforce development. And they usually come to the office, and we try to help them on building their resume, searching job for them, and all that. And then we expanded the partnership. South Sudan Lutheran Church joined us, and then the Sudanese community of Fargo-Moore area joined the partnership as well. And then United Way also came on board as well. So it was a project that started little, and then now it's been funded by United Way. And simply what ESHARA means, ESHARA has it has 1 meaning in three different languages: Bhutanese, Somalis, and Arabic as well. So ESHARA means some language, it means hope, some it means direction, right? So, and then
It means lead the way.
Yeah. So and then in English, it means the Ethnic Self-Help Alliance for Refugee Assistance. So basically, it's working with new American families who are new to the country and who want to become self-sufficient. And so that is mostly what we were doing a lot. And then our focus mostly was placing jobs to the new American families. And most of the time they have language issues, and there's also culture shock as well. The weather itself, it's difficult as well. So basically, when they come to our office, is like we do an assessment. They do assessment. We try to see how many barriers that they're facing, and especially we focus on transportation. We focus if they don't have employment. We focus if they don't have childcare. We do the assessment, and then all those assessments that they listed, we make sure at the end of the year we remove 1 or 2 barriers that they have listed in the assessment. So Matua will share what we have did last year.
Okay, to highlight what Akun have been talking about, we went around for a couple of years, 2 years before we actually convinced LSS and United Way to come on board, because we're trying to work together. And the belief is that most ethnic groups don't get along and don't work together. So we are here to show you the work that we have done with the help of United Way. Last year it was LSS and United Way, but this year it's only United Way on board, and they come in really big this time. So I'm gonna just show you guys the numbers of employment that we have done for the 2019. We do other things too, and those are the one highlighted, and these are the organization leading the way for the new American people. When we say new American, are the people that first immigrate here, and there's a lot of struggle that they face here when they resettle to the new home here in Fargo-Moorhead area. This would be language, is transportation, make a new friend, is it schools or cultural differences, all that apply to that. But we took off with the employment, and I'm gonna go in here with the numbers. So we serve about 300 people, 331 people last year, and we put the numbers here for the people that we serve with ages. This is just the employment part of it. So you can see from 0 to 5, we didn't hire anybody there. And 6 to 17, we got the numbers there. And let me go here. And then the thing that we were shocked about, how many females in New American community we have place to work. You know, coming from a different culture where women just stay home and unable to work and have male do the outside work. So we did a great job on that one. And here we cut it down by race. When we say African American, mostly African, because most of the languages that we do help them with are African languages, and we have some there too. We do help everybody, so if you need a job, come see us. And here we kind of break it down by the cities, and that is Fargo, where 60% of the people live, and Kindred, West Fargo, Moorhead come in second, and Diddleworth there, the last. And people that were placed at the job, we did about 67, and we hope to do more than that 67% of the people that we have placed at work. And I think that's it.
So for this year, the United Way funded project, we are working with the community homes, the Abbas place. So we are working with them, and we have a time that we assign our case managers to go to the Abbas place, and we are hoping to work with more new Americans than 2019. And we have ESL. We also added ESL class in Fargo area, where we're going to do at the Abbas place. We also do computer literacy as well, and then we'll have also community outreach engagement hours as well there.
Yeah, we do partner with Community Home Harbor.
Yeah.
So we running services there at that station to try to help those people there. And we hoping this year we'll get them livable wages. Just don't tell Community Home.
And the ethnic community get along with one another.
Yes.
Right.
Our second speaker this week was Abdi Mohamed, founder of Soma Employment Solutions. Soma is a staffing agency that has been highly successful in creating a network of highly intelligent workforces that are able to help their companies achieve their projects and goals. Let's take a listen to Abdi's presentation.
All right, good morning. Is everybody ready to hear more about New American Chavez? All right. So my name is Abdi Mohamed. I'm the founder of Soma Employment Solutions. I'm New American as well. Actually, I got to celebrate with you my 6th year here in Fargo today. It's been 6 years already. I come from an employment background, having an extensive experience in recruitment, training, and talent acquisition consultancy. Today, in this 6-minute presentation, I'll lead you through the initiation and successful journey of Soma Employment Solutions. So our story. So the story of Soma dates back in 2015. While pursuing my academic year in Moorhead, I realized that a lot of businesses in Fargo, Moorhead, or in this area, prefer to hire non-New Americans, undermining the skills and competencies of New Americans. However, if we look at the status, the contribution of New Americans in business civilization, tax contribution, and filling retired occupations cannot be denied. As evidence, let's have looked at statistics. So the U.S. Bureau of Labor of Status, the New Americans started legal in the U.S. make up 17% of the nation's workforce, which highlights them as a key segment. Likewise, their spending power and tax contribution has reached to $9.4 billion to $4 billion. In addition to that, the labor force participation of New Americans has recorded to 65.7%, which is more than the non-New Americans percent. Interesting, since that's interesting, I also conducted some research about Minnesota and North Dakota, where 910 employment agencies are working. But now one of them is promoting the placement of new Americans in the companies. Since I'm new American, that ignited me for the lack of opportunity and discrimination. And I started organizing and thinking about a way that I could advocate for a change and strive hard to create jobs for the new Americans. And since I have worked with various organizations, including Dory Staffing Solutions and Afro-American Development Association, that prior experience helped me to establish and grow Soma Employment Solutions. So that prior experience helped me to establish and grow Soma Employment Solutions. So who we are. So Soma Employment Solutions is a new American staffing company, which is in the outlook for creating immensely successful global network of highly skilled and competent workforce and bridge the prevailing gap between the new American talent and the industry. So our surfaces. We keep in view the diversity and sophisticated staffing approaches as business required. Soma Employment Solutions provides a range of services to cover the scope of new American staffing in Minnesota and North Dakota. Currently, our services include both consulting and staffing for manufacturing, IT, transportation, health sector. Also, we provide unskilled and skilled for health sector and manufacturing too. So our workforce is our strength. We have a team of highly skilled, competent, and professional individuals who have extensive experience in their respective fields. We listen our clients through their requirements, attract new Americans and source them, and discover their strengths and weaknesses, and find the best of it for the business. Our business approach. So we have wider perspective and optimistic. And we believe in staffing is not a number games, but relationship building business. Therefore, the company cultivates highly productive work, which provides reliable solutions to the bartenders and cater the needs of our and requirements of our clients, both business and applicants. So we are optimistic and embrace the stiffer of the competition as an opportunity to design proactive solution in order to achieve our goals and ultimately lead the new American staffing and recruitment in the US, hopefully one day. So thank you to everyone who helped us on the way when we were starting, giving us a resource, giving us the connections. Thanks to Chan Bisson and Samita and the NICE Center, the NDSU, they actually developed me when I was starting. So thank you to them, and thank you to the clients who trusted us for the first time when we were starting and thinking about this. And if you're looking for new American employees or any employees, we'll be able to help you. Or if you know anybody looking, please connect us on our way. Thank you.
After the two presentations, we took some time for Q&A with the audience to take a closer look at what they do. This week's Q&A was hosted by Andrew Jason, the Director of Ecosystem Development at Emerging Prairie.
But I guess to get started with here, Abdi, what I'm curious about is, you talked a lot about what you're doing for the new Americans. Can you elaborate a little bit more on the new American experience when they first come to the U.S. and settle in Fargo, and kind of that first trying to get into the workforce and finding that first job, how it is now, and just kind of some of the limitations?
So the new Americans, straight away when they get here, the first thing they're looking after they settle is work. Where could I find the first job? Even if they had experience before, they're literally looking at the best job, but the job that they could fit in right away. So sometimes they may have manufacturing degree from Africa, but when they got here, they don't have the right connections for the manufacturing companies, or so they ended up lower job than what they were expecting. So first, when I was actually starting, I was volunteering with Afro. So I was just basically building the first comers to find more connections and to look their past experience. So mostly, the most struggles when they first got here and just wanted to get in that first job. sometimes it's tough getting that first job, that first company that will trust you to do that job.
For sure. Awesome. Yeah, feel free.
Oh, basically, new Americans look for a job immediately when they hear that they're going to U.S. When they're in the camp, they start looking for a job from there. It's not when they come here. So basically, new Americans always, they're eager to work. And there was in the forum, I think, last week, there was an article that's out there talking about how immigrants contributed to North Dakota economy, how many taxes they paid, according to stats from the New American economy. So basically, sometimes we see New American as a workforce. Only that. But it's good to see New Americans as a neighbors, as a families, because they're not going anywhere. There's no any Scandinavians that will come here, who live in Norway right now, that will look for, that they're going to leave their free healthcare and come settle here. So basically, there will be people like me who are going to come here. So, and usually New Americans integrate fully. They look for a job, they become friends. And a lot of time people say, oh, it's very hard for New Americans to integrate easily. So what we do is we reach out to you guys. We normally come to you guys. Especially the locals, we usually come to you guys. But the locals, it's very hard for them to engage with the New Americans. So we integrate, but the locals, they don't want to come out from that side, They don't want us to come to the middle, which sometimes it's a privilege, right? And so what it is if you become if you become a friend with one New American, they will introduce you to another New American, and they will always you'll be part of them, you'll be part of family. So what I'll have to say is, if you want New Americans to be part of this community and on the workforce sector and everything, so make sure you reach out. The way we reach out to you guys, reach out to us as well. Become friends with us. Let's be neighbors. Don't look at the workforce side. We know that we are working 2 to 3 jobs. We are trying our best. But what is needed is now the welcoming part. How can we be a one community and one family?
Yeah, to add in too, there are many ways of resettling in the country here. Some of them, one of the biggest one in this area is LSS. And when they resettle a family here, I think they support them for about 8 months. And then after that, you don't have a job, you have a job, you're on your own. And that get really, really tough with the people coming here, you're not well connected, you don't have a car, your work experience in other country don't count here, your degree in other country don't count here. And one of the thing that I would highlight, one of the people we were finding job for him, ended up being a janitor. It was the professor at the one of the big universities in Africa. And that's really hurt, try to resettle here. You go from being a professor with a PhD and being a janitor. So it's not easy for some, but as a new American, they're always eager to take whatever job available for them and pick up from there and move up.
Oh, awesome. We got a question over here.
It's more of a comment, honestly. Hi, I'm Nicole. I don't know Abdi as well, but I do know Hukun and Matur. And I just want to address what Hukun said from the other side of someone whose Scandinavian ancestors came here a long time ago. Hukun and Matur are just absolutely phenomenal people, and we are so fortunate to have them in our community, all the work that they do, and just cool guys that are good friends and neighbors, right? And so I do want to encourage everybody out here who is not a new American that, Hukun's right, we need to do more to not just employ people, but to be friends and neighbors, because I have made so many wonderful friends from the new American community in the last few years, and I was really missing out on something in my life before I did that. So you should know these guys; they're really cool. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments about how cool you are? Workforce is obviously one of the biggest problems in our community. I guess, talk about, is there anything that employers can do to be more accommodating to new Americans, from recruiting new Americans to onboarding to working with new Americans?
Being the first hardest part is try to get somebody a job who don't speak the language. And mostly when they get into that job, at the training, they see what they will need to do. And one of the things that I can appreciate Fargo Assembly is that they will train you. You speak the language or you don't, you will be doing the same thing every day. So once you get in there, they end up appreciating the work that the New American bring to their company. Diversity too, and they do a great job. Those people be going in there every day and happy to take that job.
I'd like to say this. A lot of time, New Americans very hard to get job, and I wanted to say to employers, stop telling New Americans we'll call you later when you have a job opening there. So a lot of time you'll get an email. So my friend Kenny, who work with us, who's our employment coordinator, so he usually uses email to apply for New Americans who don't speak the language, and majority of the emails he gets like, oh, we are sorry, and we'll call you another time, and a lot of emails that he gets from employers, and they're still seeking for employees. So for New Americans have skills from back home. They are the best. And I remember one of the local employer here that we sit down, the local employer, we talk to him and we tell him about how great New Americans are if they hire. And then we told him, just try one. If you try one, and then let's see what that person do. And he did one, and then he's like, bring it 3 more, bring it 4 more, So don't look at the language. They have a lot of skills that you highly needed. They will work from their hand, not from the mouth. But basically, they will do amazing work. Just try one, and then you'll see the result on your own. Language will be later. We have English classes on weekend that they're trying to learn. They actually want to learn English as fast as possible. We have English class on the weekend. There is an adult school. We started also in Fargo. They're eager to learn. It's not that they don't want to learn English. So try to make sure that at least if you are an employer and you never hired a new American, just try one. And next time we come here, let's hear the result.
So my friend is touching about attracting or hiring. So I'll just touch a little bit about the retention. So to retain more New Americans, we need to learn more about their culture and just to understand them more. Because we need them to stay here. We need them to stay in Fargo, not just find the first job and after they get a car or they sell, leave to another city. So more retaining to the New Americans, I believe companies could learn more about their culture and more about their beliefs to understand them more, each other, and to work with better workplace. So mostly, also we offer workplace culture for New Americans. So if you're looking to learn more about their culture and with the workplace, we'll be able to help any companies.
Awesome.
Go ahead. I wanted to add on the retention side. There's a lot of New Americans professionals who graduated from the local university here. They're moving out from here simply because they get job. It's very hard for them to stay in that place because I know 3 or 4 that left. They got a professional job with healthcare and all that, but they left. They moved to Minneapolis simply because they're not getting the welcoming part. They're hired, but they face resistance between the other employees as well. So that also is another way, another problem that New Americans who are professional are moving out from the area simply because they're not welcome in the workplace, especially the professional ones.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We got a question over here, but first, don't forget that you can tweet your questions to #1MCFAR.
Yes, I have a question. I think you've thought about this more than we have. So in order to eliminate the perception of the need for assimilation, how do you teach us about integration? You've asked us to reach out. How do we do that? And then I have a second question for you. What are specific businesses, specific trades, or even if you want to name names that we can reach out and find those businesses to be able to welcome your staffing into? So do you have specific ones that you'd really like to get into?
And I can talk about how you guys can reach out. There's a lot of New American restaurants. There's a lot of New American shops. There's a lot of amazing organizations in the area that you can volunteer with. Just go to one New American restaurant and eat sambusa there, and connect with the server. Reach out, ask him about questions about how they made the sambusa and all that. Or what you can do is you can reach out to our local organizations here. We have a lot of volunteer opportunities. We can connect you with friends that you can connect with, and there's a lot who want to learn English, and also they can teach you their local language as well. And there's also New American shops in the area that you can go and shop from there instead of going to Walmart. You can also, it's a small business. You can also support them as well. Reach out to them, and whenever they see somebody different from them, when you go to the shop or whenever you go to the restaurant, they're always welcoming. You'll not see, like a gloomy face and all that. You'll see a smiling face from the New American side. So if you want to reach out, I can give you my business card. I'll connect you with more New Americans. I can tell you a lot of volunteer opportunity that we have in the area. Did I answer it?
All right. So I'm going to touch it up a little bit I'm going to add it up a little bit. As John Bisson said earlier, the New American Entrepreneurship that Merchant Berry and NDSU, the Child Institute, are doing is actually supporting 10 New American businesses. So there's right now 10 New American businesses under that program that you actually could reach out to them. Some of them is retail stores, Red River, I think, or Nile River. So the nationwide New American business revenue is about 28% that they added to the ecosystem in the US. But in North Dakota, it's about 2%, something like that. So visiting the New American shop is helping that too. And going back to your question, yes, the companies that we are mostly looking is the manufacturing companies, the high demand areas that are looking more to unskilled and semi-skilled. So mostly what we're doing right now is the entry level and medium level. So mostly needed the companies that has a lot of demand, looking a lot of employees. Then we could start getting and placing those employees, and the community can understand more about it. So maybe if I name some companies, Aldebaran would be Breakfast Fit, Cardinal IT, Integrated, Marfin Industries. So those kind of companies will be beneficial. Thank you.
To add up a little bit more on the integration part, I would say just sit around the table and talk with New American. Don't just sit around the table and talk about New American, because they are here. They're not here. The perception is there that they are here to take your job. If New American went to school and be a doctor, he's not taking your job. So what I would advise, is reach out to New American, be part of them. When they first come here, they don't need a handout, they need a hands up, and you will be impressed to see that they pick up real quick.
Awesome. We have time for one or two more questions. So we got a question over here.
I have a comment and a question. My name is Sue, and I'm the Career Services Director at M-State. And just the other day, I was working with a cohort of students and reviewing resumes. And about the third New American resume that I looked at with an advanced degree from their home community, I looked at the student and I said, well, I always encourage them to put their degrees on their resumes, because it really does show a level of ability to attain education and highlight of all the skills that they had in their home country. Some students are very reluctant to put those advanced degrees on their resume because they feel that might deter their ability to find employment. So that is one comment where we do have a very highly skilled group of people who are being discriminated against because of their previous employment. The other piece that I think that the bigger question is or the challenge maybe for everyone in this room is, how can we best help you connect to build businesses to create those partnerships, especially for you who has a staffing agency? Because I could definitely see that you and my partnership, and along with my other career services colleagues in the room, would be very beneficial to the students we serve, but the community as a whole. So, in addition to just sharing things on LinkedIn or so forth, how else can we help you?
So I think the best way that you could help us all and the community is awareness, putting the word out there that there's this community, that there's these businesses. So sharing with your networkers will be the best thing to do, and I'll actually reach out to you and exchange you with my business card, and we could see ways that we could collaborate. But what I could ask you for all of you is bringing the awareness and letting out know the community that there's these businesses and there's these people that are looking for work. There's about a lot of jobs open in Fargo this year. And there's a lot of new Americans that are looking for work. Averagely a day, we got 3 people that are looking for work. We're not able to place a lot of them into jobs right away. So basically, letting know the community that there's a lot of new Americans looking for work.
Yeah, I have a question. I work with NDSU Extension, and I don't, when I work with farmers, and we work with farmers across the state, and the one thing I hear from farmers all the time is what's their greatest need, and they always say employment. They can't find people to work. And so I suggest that maybe you connect to NDSU Extension, and we have extension agents all across the state. And as far as a first job, I realize that, you may not have grown up operating a combine or a tractor, but they're pretty easy to learn and really good job opportunities. So again, the problem is they come here and you don't have cars, and you'd have to travel out to the state. But anyway, I'd suggest that look at agriculture. I know that American Crystal is another grower co-op that needs people all the time. That's just 2 examples.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm glad you're here. I have a question and one comment. I actually was looking for work, and you helped me at Soma, so thank you for all of your help doing that. Before I got my job at NDSU, I'm not looking for work right now. I love my job, to clarify. But secondly, I help international students a lot in my job. Part of my role is just kind of connect students with resources and mentors. A barrier that has come up multiple times is that businesses in our area, Fargo-Moorhead, aren't familiar with visa laws and international laws and how to get them their sponsorships and things like that. So I'm noticing a huge barrier, and businesses maybe don't have full HR departments that can help with that. Is that something your company would be willing to help businesses that, let's say, I'm not familiar with how to get a visa for my student that I just met with this week. I want her to get employment, but she said she's had like 100 interviews, and the biggest barrier that she's having is there's like a time limit, right? So you have to know your job and then apply within 90 days, and if you do it wrong, then you can't get the job because then you can't get sponsored. So my question is, do you notice that, or maybe that's an area where that you could help businesses say, we'd like to sponsor an international student so that they can get a job and be part of the workforce? I'm noticing a barrier that just keeps coming up, so I wanted to mention that.
Yeah, I had encountered one of the, where we, at our church, we try to sponsor this young girl in Kenya to come to go to school, to high school, to Oak Grove, and they were very helpful at all with every process. And we had to deal with the State Department on that to getting the document. She was denied first. I had the chance to reach out to Reed, and he's right there from Senator Kevin Kramer, and we reached out to Senator Hoban, and they gave us the letters of support, and she took them in there again, and she was denied. So we don't know the best way to do that, and if anybody knows, we would really want to know as well.
We usually work with new Americans who are here, but I didn't do some stuff with the international student, so I'm not familiar with that one.
So yes, actually, I've seen that a lot. So the businesses in Fargo-Moorhead area or through North Dakota are not familiar with a lot with the visa workers. Even the I-9, they're not familiar with a lot. So mostly the familiar ones are the green cards or the U.S. passport. So that happens a lot, but there's actually a lot of resources for the USCIS website that help us a lot with the companies. And also we'll be able to help any companies about the visa processes and which visas that they could accept it. There's some visas that you're not allowed to work as a full-time, but there are visas that you could do a full-time. And so there's a lot of resources out there, and in the USCIS.com, And actually, there's a new program that we'll be working on with in the e-commerce department. So hopefully, we will learn more about the companies here, about the visa processes.
I wanted to say this, about the question about integration. These are the folks who help us to integrate easily in North Dakota. Lutheran Social Service of North Dakota. Great folks that also you can connect with. I can see their faces here. So these are the folks also that can, connect you with other immigrants as well. They are the best. So hopefully you can connect with them too.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming. I do have one last question for you all, though, but I'm hoping that you guys can stick around if anybody wants to engage with them afterwards here. But it's been asked in different formats here, but I'll ask you kind of briefly, can you guys talk about what can we as a community do to support you?
There are many ways to support us. You can reach in financially. You can reach in to volunteer your time. We have other things, not just the workforce developments. We have teaching English as a second language. We have after-school program. We have youth engagement, because one of the biggest challenges that we're facing here, we have generational gap where the children who came here as young know the language English, and the parent don't know the languages, and it's creating that generational tension between them. So they feel like they have two different families living together. So some kind of engagement where you can come in and volunteer with us would be really appreciated.
I think I can say is how can we help one another? We're here. We want this economy to be better. And for you, how can you support the new Americans? Basically, become friends with them. Be a welcoming person. That's what they highly need. Just show their smiling face and sit down with them, ask if they need help. If you see a new American in the street, you say hi to them. A lot of time, it's like if you say hi to this person, will they going to greet you or not? But if you reach out, hey, this is my name, they will always eager to respond to you and just give you a hug and all that. So basically, is give hug to new Americans whenever you see it.
Free hugs. They don't cost anything. So, yeah, it's basically help with the number of organizations. Make sure they are your first organization to think about your next time you want to volunteer or donate. If you're looking for employees or know anybody looking for employees, connect on my way. And, yeah, let's help it and make everyone Fargo nice. Thank you.
Awesome. Matur, Hukun, and Abdi, thank you so much for coming here. Thank you.
That's it for this week's 1 Million Cups Fargo. Thanks for listening in. 1 Million Cups Fargo is powered by Emerging Prairie, an organization dedicated to connecting and celebrating the entrepreneurial ecosystem. We'd also like to thank the following sponsors for their support: Midco, the Fargo-Moorhead CVB, the FM Area Foundation, the City of Fargo, Pro Resources, and the Kilborn Group. A special thank you to North Dakota State University's The Nice Center for this week's audio. See you next time.